All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds. I'm joined, as always, for our baseball podcast with Keith Hernandez here. And Keith had a very fun day at Citi Field. We're recording on Sunday. He works at Citi Field. So, Keith, how was that?
That was amazing. I got to sit around and ride around in an elevator for like 2 hours, just waiting, waiting for everyone to realize that the game was going to get played and get out of the stadium.
Yeah, so not a good look. I mean, that's a typical something that'll happen to the Mets right there. Is we'll start the game and then 7 minutes later we will put the tarp on and suspend it until Tuesday, I believe.
No, well, I think it's suspended until August 31st. I think they're planning to play a
Yeah, but
doubleheader.
it's a Tuesday.
Oh
That's
yeah, it's
yeah,
Tuesday.
it's a
Yeah.
Tuesday. I was trying to be vague about it, but it's okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, Stroman was not happy. I mean, deservedly so.
Uh, yeah.
Do you think he's gonna pitch? Like on a short, I mean, quote
Um,
unquote short rest.
I apparently they're making it sound like he's not, even though he should.
Yeah, he should.
Especially since you're playing the Phillies, if you're gonna skip his start in a series against, like, I think Peterson's up next. I don't want him to get shelled again. Anytime the Phillies lineup sees a soft throwing lefty, especially from the Mets, it's like an easy like 5 spot in the first inning.
Correct. But we could hold on to
Yeah.
that for a little bit. I just wanted the people at home to know that you were also tortured today, waiting for the Mets to not come back on. We got a couple of things here today. We're going to talk about Tatis, the injury. We're going to talk about Michael Conforto's little hit by pitch action there. Totally love it. Gritty play. Uh, you know, Angels and Astros out there at American League West. What's up with the Yankees and the Rays? We'll give you some fantasy nuggets, and of course, we'll give you a series to look out for the upcoming week. So before we start that, the usual, you got to follow Beak Brands on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow me and Keith there as well. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. He's at Keith Hernandez, two Z's. Check out the website. We got written content there. The podcast is also posted there. So definitely check us out. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, either follow and or subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Help your guys out. Tell a friend. Share. If you're one of those Met fans that, you're having a terrible time like we are, come. Be in misery with us. If you're one of those Yankee fans that, you're also currently in a misery state because you're 10 games in and you're not 9-1, you can come here too. So everything's all good. Don't get too caught up in Keith's little Mets action over there. But that's kind of what we got. So why don't we get started? So last week, just to recap, kind of what was going on there, we had a lot of things happening. But our fantasy nuggets, I went with Brady Singer. He actually didn't make a second start. He was supposed to start again today, which is Sunday. But he didn't because the game got rained out on Saturday.
Right? Yeah.
So now he's pitching on Monday when you're listening to this. So he still qualifies. He did not have a great first outing. Keith went with John Means. Obviously, he was just doing it to everybody out there. So good on
He
him.
he pitched well against the Yankees. They didn't. He didn't qualify for the win because he didn't make it. He didn't make it through the fifth. But as a soft throwing lefty to only give up like 2 runs against that Yankees lineup
Yeah,
is you could call that a successful outing.
for sure. And then we also talked about Shohei Ohtani last week. And guess what? Since then,
Oh
he's gotten hurt like 2 separate times. They slid into him at home
yeah.
plate, and he's got a blister on his finger, but they're going to let him hit anyway. So,
He's gonna
like,
let him hit, and he's gonna keep hitting
yeah.
bombs.
This guy just can't get out of his own way, though. There's just always something going on with him.
I I think it's either you let him relieve and hit, or you just let him hit. I mean,
Well,
I,
I think the slide at home plate was like a total
the slide at
freak
home was
thing.
that was scary.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's got Rich Hill hands where he's gonna have blisters every 2 weeks.
yeah. Him, Aaron Sanchez, and Rich Hill should start a club. But let's get started with today's stuff. So, Keith, last time we spoke, Fernando Tatis was healthy. He is
Mhm.
no longer healthy. So do you think that's going to cripple the Padres eventually? It hasn't caught up to him yet, but he's only been out for a couple of days.
Hasn't caught up to them yet. I mean, they even threw in their first no-hitter as a franchise in that time, which is pretty cool. I thought it was really funny that Ha-Sung Kim made the last out at shortstop, and he almost olayed it.
Yeah,
So
almost.
if for anybody who doesn't know what olaying a ball means, it's like ground ball gets hit to you. You know, it's not that hard, and you don't play it in front of you. You kind of just take it to the side, but you shouldn't be backhanding the ball. And that scared. I saw him. I saw him not square up to the ball and just start shuffling and turn it like backhand the glove. And I was like, oh my god, he's gonna make an error. I thought that was it.
Can you imagine that's the way they would have lost that? I had a coach one time, quick story, that like, so we had this kid who played shortstop. He was younger than us. It was for the school team, so he was like a grade or two younger than me. And every ball that got hit to the right of him at shortstop, he would backhand every single one of them. And the coach was like, yo, you ever met a ball that you like to get in front of? And then he made him run laps for like the rest of the practice. So yeah, we have some pretty good Olay stories with him, but that's pretty funny. But he did not make an error, and they did throw a no-hitter.
They did throw a no-hitter, yeah. So from the last report, it seems like I mean, he was able to, not have surgery, so it looks like he's rehabbing well, and he should be coming off at either the day he's eligible or a couple of days after.
Yeah, see, that's scary to me. The fact that you
agree.
just pop your shoulder out and it went back in on its own, and you're going to be like, yeah, 10 days, I'll be all right. Like, are you going to swing full force after that?
They said he took fielding, so he should, yeah, as early as next week.
If you're a Padres fan, does that worry you, like, long term? Because you just locked them up to, like, a 14-year deal, right? Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it like you watch the replay, it just reminds me of what happened to Conforto.
Yeah.
With his shoulder. And then he took a full, he was bad the next year.
He was.
So it took him like a full year to like get around and, remember how to be good. So yeah, it definitely worries me. And he takes like such hard swings.
He does,
that,
I know.
He's bound, he's not going to be fully recovered when he comes back, and he's going to hurt it again.
I hope not. I hope not.
I hope not too, but that's like reality.
It is reality, I know, but it's sad when someone who's like that good has like a little injury bug thing. But back to Joe Musgrove for a second, right? So how cool is it that this guy's like a diehard Padres fan growing up, has a Padres tattoo, gets traded to the Padres, and throws the first no-hitter in franchise history?
That's like a childhood dream.
I know, right? That's so cool.
It's so cool. I think my favorite thing is his post-game interview. Like, they were asking him how he was feeling. He's like, oh yeah, I felt terrible. Like, I slept for like 4 hours. I was all tight when I woke up. He like gave all the credit to Victor Caratini for that no-hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only...
if you
Go.
Oh yeah, the last 3 innings, he didn't throw a single fastball.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah. All just throwing to wiffle ball sliders, a couple change-ups, like a cutter or two, and like insane.
He took the Lance McCullers way to no hit that right there. He was like, no number one. Anything else. It's all the wiggly fingers. That's all we're doing. But that's cool that he got to throw a no-hitter. The Padres were the last team without a no-hitter, in case you guys didn't know. If you're listening, you're casual. They were the only franchise without one. So that pretty much leaves the Mets as the only team without a real no-hitter. And we will continue.
Exactly.
We just don't bring it up. We just kind of say, like, yeah, Johan Santana. And hopefully people don't remember that he totally gave up a double. And that, good thing we didn't have replay for that.
Thank God.
Because the way the Mets manage the team, DeGrom will never throw a no-hitter because they will never pitch him 9 innings. So
Nope.
No.
If he ever has one going through 7, going through 6, I'm sure they'll leave him in.
Yeah, they would,
but
I hate
I'm
Luis
surprised
Rojas,
even when
so.
he makes me so upset. Doesn't know how to use the bullpen. Like, there was in the game on yesterday, there's no reason for Diaz to be in that game again.
I know,
Like,
because we're losing.
we're losing. Exactly. Thursday it made sense because he hadn't pitched yet.
Yeah.
Like the game that the bullpen imploded, um, I think on Tuesday, I would have used them. I would have used Diaz there before the rest of the bullpen imploded and gave up a million runs. Um, like again, I just I don't know. I don't know.
It's been the same problem for a long time. I mean, listen, before the season I said we should fire him and get Buck Showalter. I still stand by that. But we can get back to the Mets in a second. Let's talk about the American League West. So, currently, the Angels and the Astros are like on an absolute tear out there. So, 2 questions. 1, can the Angels keep this up? And 2, is this the Astros being like F you to everyone who said that we couldn't play and like, not, we didn't win the World Series because we had like 10 first round, like top 5 picks on our team?
Yeah. They're playing with so much anger.
Yeah, they are.
Like they are so mad. I'm sure it's also partly because they were under 500 last year and made the playoffs, and people were just making fun of them on top of what had already happened. So yeah, they are playing with something to prove, and that tear will probably continue for a while, and they don't even have Odorizzi yet.
That's right.
So they will get more pitching help, and that will be very scary. The Angels, though, they would need Ohtani to start if they're gonna keep anything up.
Yeah.
If Jared Walsh keeps hitting like 2004 Albert Pujols, that'll also help them. No, but their offense outside of like Trout and Ohtani and Rendon has been like a pleasant surprise. Like Rendon hasn't even been on fire. I think he's only hitting like 230. He hit that garbage time home run against Steven Matz yesterday. So hopefully that gets the ball rolling for him. But yeah, I mean the Angels have been a nice surprise.
Do you buy them though? Do you think they can keep it up? Right now, if you had to choose, do you think they'll be in the race all the way till the end?
I'm gonna be honest. The A's have looked kind of stinky.
They have. Yeah, trust me, I'm well aware.
So I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna say they'll be in the wild card race up until the end.
Okay. Wild card. All right. Wild card. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think they'll be players for the division.
Okay.
I think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose too many games.
Because I was gonna say I don't buy them. Like I don't know why. Like I just can't get into them. Like I don't trust their pitching at all.
Because it's just a bunch of no names.
I know. Except for Andrew Heaney, the best left-handed pitcher
Heaney,
ever.
They got Alex Cobb now too.
Yeah, I don't trust. I never trusted him though.
Slow throwing gas. Not Orioles Alex Cobb.
Yeah. Bundy's good too. I've always liked Bundy. But...
Yeah, Bundy's good. There's another Orioles guy who's needed to get out of there.
How many guys have they given away? Like they had Arrieta at one point before he broke out. They had Bundy. They've had Cobb. Didn't they have Zach Davies too? Like they got rid of him.
I think so. Yeah.
They've had a bunch of guys that are just like they're major league players. Let's get rid of them. Yeah,
and they'll do it to John Means too.
They probably will do it to John Means. You're right. You're right. But all right, so the Astros, I'm with you on for sure. Like they are pissed that people like keep holding it against them. Like they cheated, but this is what I'm saying the whole time. Like, all right, like they cheated, but it's not like they don't have 6 top 5 picks on their team. Like their team is stacked, and I think they're just out there trying to be like, that's not the only reason why we won. Like we have good players.
Yeah. And they're out there trying to make it back to the World Series this year.
And all of them have been like playing well. Like all the guys that were like, we don't know if they can hit, with or without video camera or whatever, blah blah. They're all hitting like 300 right now. Yeah.
Bregman's the ones that stood out the most to me, especially because he played so bad last year.
Yeah.
And even Correa too. Well, Correa is also out there playing for a contract, which I said.
Right. That's why he's on my fantasy baseball team. Yeah. Every guy who's playing for a contract, I'll take him all the time.
You got him. You got Conforto.
Yeah, well, that's gonna bite me in the ass because I took him over Nick Castellanos. That was stupid.
And Castellanos is the one who's carrying this year.
I know. And I have Castellanos every year too, but I'm like, no, like this guy's playing for a contract. He's gonna go nuts. And there's still time. It's still early, but like, the guy has like 2 hits. And Castellanos
He's
has
gotta
like
wake
5
up.
home runs. Oh my goodness. I'm with you on the AL West out there, though. It sounds like we're kind of in the same territory. Let's bring it all the way back East Coast. We'll talk Mets and Yankees. Let's go with the Yankees first. So there's like this weird thing that the Yankees just can't beat the Rays. Like I know they beat them today, but like the Rays, who have like 15% of the Yankees payroll, beat them like 70% of the time. Can you explain that? Like how that happens?
It's so funny to me. They beat them. They beat them throwing Rich Hill out there. I'm pretty sure they beat them when Chris Archer went out there too, right? And Chris Archer only threw like two innings. You can't lose to Chris Archer in
No,
2021.
you can't.
You can't. And a 42-year-old Rich Hill, you can't lose to him either. He's throwing like 88, spinning like 68-mile-an-hour curveballs up there. They didn't have Judge either for those 2 games because he had side pain, which is also scary.
Yes.
You know, he the day before an off day, Aaron Boone took him out of the lineup for general soreness. Like you can't play through a little soreness before an off day. That's very, very concerning.
Yeah.
And
I think Yankees fans are really concerned about him. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Why. Yeah.
They were freaking out on Twitter. It was so funny. A lot of people were saying like they're done with him, like don't even think about re-signing, like if given the opportunity, like
if
whatever.
This keeps going, I can't see him getting a huge contract from them.
No way.
Because they know his
Not
medical history. Yeah.
Someone else will, just for the name.
100%. Sell tickets.
Yeah. It's gonna be someone's. I don't see him going to a non-contender. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So some stupid contender is like.
That's an Angels move, 110%. That's something dumb they would do. Yep.
The Angels move. That could end up worse than their Josh Hamilton contract if they end up doing that.
Yeah, the Josh Hamilton thing that really didn't work for them.
That was bad.
I really liked him when he played for the Rangers, though.
I loved him.
I know.
I loved him because I was 10 years old and I didn't know his past.
That's okay. I still love him
That's
anyway.
okay.
Dude is a monster. But why can't the Yankees beat the Rays? Like it's such a strange dynamic.
I think they all know it now too. Like
it's like in their head.
And it's in their head.
Yeah.
And the more they think about it, like the more they're gonna lose. Like usually come the playoffs, they clean them up except for last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's so funny to me. I think the everybody in that race team plays with something to prove too.
Yeah, they're all like gritty.
So,
every single guy. Yeah. Because even like the best player on their team is either Austin Meadows or Tyler Glass. Now you could pick one. Yeah. And they both got traded. Like the original team was like, yeah, whatever, you can get out of here. And the Rays were like, oh yeah, come here. So like, guys remember that. Like, oh, that franchise gave up on me. Especially Glass now. Remember, they moved him to the bullpen. He still wasn't good. They were like, whatever, this guy's a lost cause. And then Tampa was like, yeah, he's a gangster.
That was only after a year.
Yeah, they gave up on him fast.
Yeah. It was so quick. But Rays had Brent Honeywell pitch today.
I know. That's insane.
He was filthy.
Yeah, he was.
Filthy. So
I saw on Instagram it's been 1,300 days since he last pitched in AAA.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 arm surgeries, 1,300 days.
That was. And he pitched 2 2/3 innings.
And he's out here pumping 95 still.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
Once he gets stretched out, that's gonna be a huge piece for them.
I agree. But do you think? So let's talk the AL East. Boston's currently in first place. I know it's super early, but like, because the Tampa's buried down there too. Like they haven't gotten off to a good. There's a lot of good teams that have gotten off to like really bad starts. And like I said, it's only 10 games, and like not everyone's the Dodgers. They're just gonna roll everyone they play. But how do you think that shakes out? Like now that you think Tampa's beaten the Yankees a couple times already. You think that's going to play in the long run? I know they have a lot of matchups still to come, but
yeah, I think it'll definitely like mess up some trajectories for some teams. Like now, like the Yankees might not win 100 games, they might. And same thing with the Rays. Getting off to a slow start. Like the big three teams, the Yankees, the Rays, and the Blue Jays, they might all be more close to like 85 to 92 wins.
Yeah.
With the being closer to the 92 side and the Blue Jays being closer to like 85, 86. And then the Rays right there in the middle around 88, 90. So you're not going to see any like huge win numbers, I think, from any of those teams this year, just because if you look at pretty much the standings from every division, like everyone's at 500 for the most part, like except for like obviously the Dodgers, like we said. Like the Phillies are a couple of games above, and I think the Red Sox, like you said, are like 3 games above.
Yeah, they're
500
in first
right now.
place. They won 6 in a row.
Well, yeah, they beat up on the Orioles.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think a lot of those teams are going to beat up on the Orioles.
Yeah, it's Orioles are finally slow because they swept the Red Sox. I'm sure the Red Sox were also mad about that opening week.
Yeah.
Because their hitting finally woke up. Devers has had a great weekend. Bogarts had a great weekend. JD Martinez had a 3 home run game. So they're starting to get it rolling with the offense at least. The pitching's not going to be there, but hit as much as you can. That's what baseball's going to, so it doesn't really matter.
That's right. That's right. Let's switch gears to the other New York team, our New York Mets. We're not going to go on the Mets too long here, but I do want to talk about Michael Conforto's hit by pitch. So It was like pretty clear and obvious that he leaned into it, which is amazing. You can't review it. Totally was a strike. He was totally fooled. He was just like, no, and then leaned right.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it. People are like, we're throwing shade at him. Like, oh, man, like, what is that? That's like Bush League. I'm like, you play to win the game. Herm Edwards, come on. What are we talking about out here?
He came out the next day and said, a win's a win.
Yup. He knows.
He knows. And they needed that. I mean, like, they needed to win that game.
A win's a win. He's scuffling at the plate. You got to do something to get it done.
And people are going to forget about it in 2 weeks.
That's right.
And until like there's like some stupid like hit by pitch compilation on YouTube in like 2 years, and that's like the first video showed him leading into the pitch, like walk off hit by pitch compilation.
Do you think that Major League Baseball can do anything about that though? Like, can you make that a reviewable play? Like intent to lean in? I don't think you can.
No, nothing with intent. That's the same way about like hitting someone. You can't tell if it was on purpose. Most of the time, except with hitting someone, you can't tell if it was on purpose. Whatever.
But it's like blatantly obvious.
But But no, anything with intent can never be reviewed. It's just you're not going to be able to review human nature. You just can't do it.
You can't. And I want to move on to our next thing here for some fantasy nuggets. But I just want to say, all that stuff with the Reds and Cardinals happened after we recorded last Saturday.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Don't punish Nick Castellanos. What did he do wrong? This guy did nothing wrong.
He appealed it, right?
I don't know if I think it's still going through. I haven't heard anything yet.
I don't think there was a verdict yet, but
that's a travesty.
Terrible.
Did you hear what he said after the game? My favorite part was like, I've been on a losing team my whole career. Like, I'm just trying to effing win. Like, hell yeah. Like, give me everyone like that.
Yeah,
the guys just want to win. Oh, man. And the fact that he was screaming in that dude's face, I loved it. We need more of that in baseball.
All he said was, let's go. Like,
I know, but it was just the fact that he, like, stood over him and he was just, like, screaming at him. That's my favorite part.
It's, like, that's the same thing as, like, a basketball player does, like, a crazy dunk. Let's say Miles Bridges, for example.
Yeah.
Because he's been going crazy. He had a insane dunk earlier today. Just, like, you dunk on someone and you scream in their face.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Sometimes you get a tech, but whatever.
Or when they get fouled, then you can see them through the TV scream and one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. that's better.
Yeah. It's incredible. Unless man, my fantasy basketball team started off 10-0, and then everyone's on IR, so we're in big trouble over here, fantasy basketball land. But we're gonna stick to the diamond. So let's get into it, Keith. All right, ready? We're gonna play a little game. Who's your Randy? If you missed it last week, me and Keith give you a fantasy baseball ad that you can use in honor of Randy Arozarena, last year who got stupid hot for the Rays. obviously play on words for who's your daddy. And obviously they're random people, so they're Randys. They are, hopefully, we try to shoot for guys with really low ownership percentage, so probably under 50%. I went first last week, so I'll let Keith go first this week. So Keith, who do you got, and why do we need to pick them up?
Back to my Baltimore Orioles, going with their closer, Cesar Valdez. Owned in 34.5 ESPN leagues. I think is up to 50 in Yahoo. So a little higher there, but, you know, he's looking like he's going to be their closer. A lot of teams didn't announce who they were going to use to close games this year. So looking like he's the guy. He's got 2 saves. He's got a win. He just blew a save against the Red Sox yesterday, which made me a little sad. I think it was like a 1-run game or something. Whatever, it's gonna happen with everybody. So as long as you know, if that doesn't negatively affect you too much, you know, you'll be good. Like for us, we don't play with negatives.
Yeah,
in our
that
league.
one league that we
So
have, we
that-
don't know negatives. That's my favorite
no
league.
negatives. It's the best scoring system. We might have to make that the scoring system public one day, just to
Yeah, so
get
people can
people
check
on
it out. Yeah.
and it just becomes the ESPN default because it becomes so popular.
Listen, if you're listening to this and you don't play, like, you got to try it out one time, just playing without negatives. It is so much fun.
It's
Because
so
when a
much
guy
better.
does poorly and he only puts up like 3 points and then some other pitcher puts up like 38, you're like freaking out. She's like, what do you mean? You only put up 3 points. And like, you're just devastated. So it even adds to it. Because then you're like, oh, I got to add somebody else. But we have a acquisition limit. So like, you can't just be like adding a pitcher every day at Saquon Smith. So like,
Yeah. Listen, I have like 9 additions against Joe this week, partially because I had like 7 guys hurt.
no, the first week and a half I leave it open and then I close
Yeah.
it after that. Yeah. Because like people get hurt, like, oh, this guy, like, he played 1 game towards
Died.
ACL, like Dexter
Yeah.
Fowler, like, all right, get rid of
Dexter
him.
Fowler.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor him.
That's sad.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. But yeah, I like your ad there for who's your Randy. So my Randy is like a super random, okay? Lou Trevino. He's only owned in 7.5% of ESPN leagues. And the reason you need to pick him up is because Trevor Rosenthal's career is over. All right? He had thoracic outlet surgery, or he needs it. He's done, they said, for a few months, a.k.a. he'll be good in like 3 years from now for like 6 weeks, and then he'll be terrible. And then it wasn't sure, like, it was going to be Sergio Romo, was it going to be Jake Diekman, was it going to be Lou Trevino? The correct answer, according to the Oakland Athletics right now, is Lou Trevino. And I would take him over your pick because the A's are going to win more than 45 games this year.
Yes.
So
That is
we're
true.
going with Lou Trevino. Obviously, like Keith said before, the A's are off to the best start. But on the second turn through the rotation, like Montas pitched really well and Luzardo pitched really well. So I think at least the top part of their rotation is going to pick up some gas. I think they're going to add a reliever. That's what Oakland does anyway. Even if they weren't in it, they just add relievers for fun because that's what they do. But I think as of right now, Trevino is just like locked into the closer spot as long as they, Bob Melvin over there agrees. So that's my pick for my Randy this week. What do you think?
Definitely a good pick. They're gonna win more games. Hopefully he doesn't have like a 9 ERA in like his first 5 save attempts, because then he's gonna get moved. Then they're gonna have to put someone else in there. Shane Green is like the only reliever I can think of that's still out there on the market.
They'll sign him 100%.
Someone will sign him and he'll make a decent impact. I know people were saying the Mets got to sign Shane Green like right now to bolster the bullpen, but in that bullpen he's not going to be a difference maker.
Well, not even that. I mean, we've been saying since November the Mets bullpen is terrible, and like me and Keith text back and forth, right? And we're just like, oh, that guy should be on the Mets, Archie Bradley. Like, oh, Brad Hand's pitching. He should be on the Mets. I know, but like at least we should have him.
I know.
There's so many dudes that signed for nothing, and I'm sure there are other teams that other fans that root for other teams saying the same thing. Like, what are we not doing picking this guy up for free? Just makes no sense.
Well, luckily, this is the last year of Familia and Betances, so that'll help open up some space. They had some locked contracts in there where they're gonna have to, just guarantee them a spot just because of how much you're paying them. But they made a fake injury for Betances to get him
Yeah,
out for
they
a little
did.
bit. I thought they were gonna wait at least a week.
Nope.
Don't make it so obvious, but um, he's straight to the IL. But Mealy's looked okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been upset with him. I really like Miguel Castro too. It looks like Hefner's done some good work with him, and they're getting him going.
Well, I think in
You know,
general, like the bullpen usage, not only for the Mets. I mean, because the Mets is because they don't know what they're doing, but other
yeah,
teams are like the bullpen usage is so weird. Like the way some
terrible.
teams are
Like,
bringing guys into games, I don't know. It's very strange.
yeah, I don't like it.
I
Doesn't
don't know.
really
I've
make
seen it
sense
a
to me,
couple
but
of times. So like closers are pitching in non-safe situations, like early in the year. Like why? I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, you gotta time it better where they get their work in, and you don't have to throw them into a game where you're either down 10 or up 10 or something stupid.
Yeah. Like I saw before, Pittsburgh was actually winning. They were up by like 7 or 8 runs,
Hmm.
and they were pitching some guy I've never heard of. Like that's what you're supposed to do when you're winning by
Exactly.
like 7 runs. Not like, oh, let's throw our closer in there for fun. Like that's not how that works. I don't know. I'll never understand that, but
Me too.
whatever. So to recap, we're going with Valdez and Trevino as our two
Yep.
randoms of the week there. Uh, the next part, we're going to pick a series that's upcoming this week. So obviously the pod drops on Mondays. So up until we record over the weekend, you get about a 6-day window. Now the Padres are playing the Dodgers. And that's a gimme. So like if you can check that out, you totally should. Me and Keith picked two other series besides that one that we thought could be interesting. Obviously, I went first last week, so I'll let Keith go first again for this. So, Keith, what series are you looking forward to this week and why?
This weekend, the Phillies will be playing the St. Louis Cardinals. That's going to be exciting. Those are two teams that are, trying. Cardinals are kind of the favorite for the division, but they've been kind of like, meh. Phillies are trying to make a surprise to everybody and prove that they're actually good. Um, they proved it. They almost proved it against the first Brave series, starting to prove it against the Mets, and then they kind of just got washed the last 2 days by the Braves, who another team playing with anger because they got off to a slow start.
How sick are those uniforms?
Amazing.
I love them. I'm obsessed with the Braves
I was talking
throwbacks.
to one of the security guards today about them. He loves them.
Yeah.
So
But anyway,
yeah,
Cardinals, Phillies.
Cardinals, Phillies. If the Phillies somehow lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets, I don't think they will because they have Wheeler and Nola pitching this week.
yeah.
Somehow if they somehow lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets, they're gonna be back to being buried in the division, which will not be a good look for them. So it's gonna be a must-win series for both teams, obviously.
Yeah, see, especially because the two divisions we're talking about, we're expecting to be competitive at the top. So, like, you got to beat these teams that, like, when you have your good pitchers going, you need to win those games.
Hmm.
For me, I am going to take two teams you're probably going to be very confused about. I'm taking the Rangers and the Rays for my series this week. Uh, they've been super competitive to start the year, both of them. Now, you're probably saying, what are you talking about? They're both under 500. But listen, they put up a lot of runs. And like I've said before, if I'm going to watch two random teams that I like don't care for either way, like it can't be like a 2-1 snooze fest. All right, I need to see some action.
I need
And,
Joey Gallo hitting 3 home runs every
yeah,
single game.
or stealing second base and doing the Matrix swim move to get in there, like today, like something silly.
Yeah.
Or, now I don't. Is it Lau or Low? I don't know how to say his last name on Texas.
Brandon Lau. Oh no.
No, he plays for
That's what you're talking about,
Yeah, he plays. Yeah, they
He
were on the
plays
same
for
team last year, and now they're on different
yeah.
teams and they're playing
It's
each other.
Lau and Low.
Yeah,
The Rangers one is Low.
it's Low. Yeah, he has like 4 or 5 home runs already, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like okay, cool beans. And obviously, if you want to learn something about baseball, like I don't agree with everything the Rays do, but they're like intellectual capacity for baseball is like super high. So if you want to just learn something about baseball and you're like already a casual fan, because if you jump in right into a Rays game and you have no idea what you're watching, you will be so lost you'll have no idea what's happening. But if you're trying to like gain a little bit of knowledge, the Rays are definitely a good team to watch. So that's my series of the week.
Yeah. The Rays even pulled out the 5-man infield on like the 4th game of the season.
I know.
And
I
like
know.
the like the 3rd inning. And it worked.
Like I say, imagine you're like, let's say it's like you watching a game with your girlfriend or something, and she has no idea what's happening, right? And she knows, like, you told her, like, hey, first base, second base, shortstop, third base. And then in the third inning of, like, the 7th game of the year, there's, like, another infielder. Like, how confused are you? Like, why are there only 2 people in the outfield? Why is this guy just randomly standing here? Like, did they change the rules? Like, do you have to do this? Like, you'd be so lost if you didn't know what was happening watching a Rays game.
It's so funny.
It's incredible.
You're gonna see 9 different pitchers.
It's like if you're an NFL fan and you're watching all these teams throw the ball downfield, and then you put the Ravens on, and it's like, why am I watching a game from 1932? Like, every play is they're running and they're pulling 2 guards going right. Like, it's just so strange.
they're running like a 5 running back rotation in Baltimore. Just every 2 plays, someone comes off the field, another guy comes on.
Oh, trust me, I know. I have J.K. Dobbins in Dynasty. It's so frustrating. Guy averages like 5.8 yards a carry. Like, yeah, we'll give him the ball 8 times today. Like, dude, what are you doing? Gus the Bus? Like, get this guy out of here. Oh, man. We're really diving into some other sports today, that's for sure. But, look, so that's kind of what we got today. We're going to try to keep these about 40 minutes for you guys, because obviously, if me and Keith talked about all the topics we wanted to every week, this could be 3 hours long, all right? And we're not trying to do that. So we're just hitting on some major stuff. So if you have something, like a topic maybe, or you're a fan of a team and you're like, hey, you don't show us any love, let us know, all right? And the ways you can do that are, you can follow Beak Brands on Instagram, Twitter, and or Facebook. You can check out the website, beakbrands.com. Written content is there. The podcast is there. You could communicate with me and Keith on Instagram, at Tim Ferdinand or at Keith Hernandez with 2 Z's. And if you're listening to the pod now, you could either rate and review on Apple, you could comment on the YouTube page, or if you're on Spotify, definitely you could hit us up on social media. All right, so we're going to try to spread the love out throughout all the teams. We try to throw some nuggets out there. Like we've said before, me and Keith are like borderline junkies. It's like not healthy, but it's okay. So we got you covered. So even if you don't think we know nothing about like the Detroit Tigers and Mr. Badu over there, we do. All right, so don't worry. We got it. Also, good for that guy saying F you to the Twins for Rule 5ing me. He's a beast. I love him. I don't know why he was the first guy that popped into my head, but he's on an absolute tear to start the season.
He's insane. Playing good defense. He's hitting home runs. You know, what else could you ask for hitting a home run in your first major league at bat on the first pitch you see? Like that alone is just like
I know.
all I need.
I know. Incredible.
And then
absolutely
the
incredible.
next day? Yeah, insane.
But that's what me and Keith got for today. So like I said, if you have suggestions or you have a favorite team, let's say you're listening, you know, somewhere in Minnesota and you're like, how are you not mentioning 40-something-year-old Nelson Cruz hitting like on pace for 75 home runs? Like, we could throw that in there, but you got to let us know. All right.
So Byron Buxton.
Your boy, I know. We could save him.
I don't have him this year.
We could save him. Yeah, we could save him. But that's what we got for today. All right, me and Keith will be back next weekend, or AKA Monday for you guys. And that's pretty much what we got. So until then, we will talk to you guys soon. We are out of here.